Perfectly excellent.
What is up, party people? Happy, what is it, Thursday night, right? I think it is a Thursday, right?
It's Thursday night, but the happy thing, we don't need that.
We don't need that. It's a Thursday night. It's a day.
It's a Thursday night. I hope everyone's having a happy Thursday night.
We're definitely having a Thursday.
I have people at work who start every meeting with, oh, happy Monday, oh, happy Tuesday, happy Friday, happy Thursday. Drives me out of my mind. I hate it. So
you don't get a happy Wednesday though. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Oh, I have this one guy who it's happy whatever day of the week it is. It's happy, and he hasn't taken the hint when I've said things like, "Oh, happy 12:30 p.m. to you too." Yeah. He doesn't take the hint that it's dumb. But
we should do an episode all about like the insanities of like office stuff. Like all right, well, we're gonna wrap up now, so we'll give everybody 5 minutes back on their calendar. It's like
you cannot beat a Saboba.
No, and then you get those, they give you the 5 minutes back, and then there's always the one guy who's like, wait, I got one more question. And then nothing is back. It's all taken.
Then they're taking it from you. And then some.
And then some. Yes.
But yeah, so I hope everyone's having a nice Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Or Friday morning, whenever you're watching this.
That's right. Whatever it is, I hope it's It's the happy that day.
How you doing?
Tired. I'm tired, man. I'm feeling it. I don't think I've recovered, and we'll talk about this when we get into the thick of it, but this weekend like wiped me out.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'm having some the work has been cranking this week, prepping for some stuff, and I'm feeling it. I was telling my wife, like, oh man, I am having a tough time getting myself motivated to go back upstairs and sit at my desk again because I'm beat.
Yes. Well, at least this will be joyous, and I will not be giving you any time back or whatever. Your time will be taken.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's time well taken.
It is time well taken. Yes. But I think you and I are in the same boat. Like we're gearing up for something big next week. So no show next week because we'll both be out of town, right? When you're leaving soonish.
Soon.
Yeah. So I will be away at a work thing, but we'll come back and maybe we can do our work filled episode of all the fun stuff, the fun work target.
Maybe. But for now, you want to start just jumping into things and do a little exchanging of inventions?
Let's exchange some inventions. I think that's a great idea.
Perfectly excellent.
'Tis that time where we share some recent acquisitions with each other.
It is the most wonderful time of the year.
Of the week? Of the day?
Of the day?
I don't know. I sure love opening packages that come in the mail.
Have you opened anything recently?
I open lots of things all the time. Probably more things than I should be opening.
Do you have something that you've opened recently that you care to share?
I have 3 things that I would care to share.
Do I have to pick like door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3?
Oh no, we'll do it by size, by height.
Okay, by height, of course.
All right, so we've had conversations about G.I. Joe vehicles.
Yeah, I do recall that we have.
And the last time I showed some G.I. Joe stuff, I have this giant backlog of G.I. Joe stuff, by the way. So probably every other episode I'm going to be showing G.I. Joe things. But the last time I showed some G.I. Joe stuff, I had the Trouble Bubble and the Ram motorcycle because I had gotten those. And I was telling you how like my goal is now I don't want every vehicle. I don't need every vehicle. I legitimately do not want every vehicle. But I decided I do want the ones that I had when I was a kid.
Sure.
So I've gotten my hands on some new ones of those that I'm excited about. So first off, we got the Ferret ATV.
I remember this one. Yes.
This was one of my absolute favorites when I was a kid. I loved this thing. And Storm Shadow, this was his main vehicle for me. Mm-hmm. Love this. Comes with a figure, just a Cobra Scout, I think it's called. But yeah, good stuff. Like that. Was very happy to get that in the collection.
That's a good one.
Also,
wow. This looks great.
Ram. So this one was a little pricier on the aftermarket, not
Okay.
currently available right now, but really wanted this. Is most excellent. It's got the little gas cans like the original one
Always
had.
important. Always important.
We
Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah, we got Clutch hanging out with his shotgun. So it is excellent. It's also it's large. My head's large, but it's still large.
Fit at least two of your heads in one of those, I think.
Yeah. So really excited about that one. And then the final one you knew was coming. This was also one of those ones that kind of pushed me down the path. Is we finally got
Yes, there it is. Oh my god, it's huge. You're
again
holding it in a very bizarre manner, by the way. It makes me feel
the one thing about it is if you hold it by his head, it pops open. Okay. So like it's tough to
yeah, it looked like he had like 4 crotch rockets though, ready to fire. Right. So there we go. This thing is awesome. Yeah, I remember this. Like again,
you don't remember it like this.
I do not remember it like this. It was nothing like this. That is wild. That is so wild. I'm glad you went in on this because this thing is just so super cool.
Yeah, big shout out to my buddy Keith for hooking me up after they sold out because I decided I hemmed and hawed and then it sold out. But he had picked up an extra because he figured someone would need one, and that someone turned out to be me. Snake armor.
Nice. No more hemming or hawing for that matter.
No, just hawing now.
Yes. All right, you showed off 3 things. I don't have 3 related things, but I could show off 3 things quick.
It's up to you if you want. Like I said, I have so much G.I. Joe stuff that if I don't start doing them in chunks, like we'll be doing this for 4 years.
Okay, so I'm going to show. I want to see if you know what this thing is. I want to see if anyone knows what this is. There's someone here, so chime in if you know.
It's a koala. It's okay. Right. Can I see the other side? Right. Okay. All right. Can I see the bottom? Okay. Oh, wait. Zoom in.
Any guesses?
That very clearly is a back scratcher.
It is. It actually probably is pretty good at this. But this is one of the most bizarre things that I've seen. And of all places, I got this at a Spirit Halloween. This is one of Delia Dietz's sculptures from the first Beetlejuice. So absolutely absurd and ridiculous. It does say Beetlejuice on the back. Mm-hmm. But this is so dumb that I just had to have it. And there's actually, they made 2 of the sculptures in this scale, which is probably like 1/6 scale, I would think. I don't know if I need the other one, but I have this on my desk and it makes me just so incredibly happy because it's so random and bizarre that they would actually do that. Like, I don't even know who is buying it. Like, obviously I bought it, so there's probably dozens of us out there, but such a ridiculous.
In the movie, that's like the size of a person.
It is the size of a person because it actually comes to life at one point and like kind of encases a person, like it holds them in place. So yeah, very, very silly thing.
Yeah. Hey, I got lots of silly things. I'm okay with silly things.
Yes. So that was cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it at that because there's other thing related to the show today. So we'll do one.
All right, we'll do one. Should we move on to the main event? Because you did something this weekend.
I did do something this weekend. I did a lot of things this weekend, but we're only going to talk about one of them.
All right.
Perfectly excellent.
Jacob Javits, I'd like to thank you for everything. Primarily your glass house.
You were at the Jacob Javits Center.
I was, and after which I Googled pictures of what does it look like empty, because that place is gigantic. And I was there because it was I don't know which one it was, but it was the 2025 New York Comic Con came rolling through the Jacob Javits Center.
Yeah, and I think it's the 145th annual.
Is that what it was? I think so. Yeah, I think it started 145 years ago. Yeah. The first Comic Con,
Yeah. The comics then were on papyrus.
Yes, it was steeped into just our history here as a country. But no, this again, I've been going to this thing I looked and it's like over 15 years now. which is crazy to think that it's been that long.
Every year for 15 years.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I've missed a year. Obviously COVID happened and there was no comical cons that year, but yeah, it just started going. And I mean, it used to be almost like a spur of the moment thing. Like you can get tickets and just roll in, you can buy a 4-day pass. And then it got like over the years, you know, it got crazy where you had to be there. Like, remember, right as the tickets went on sale, you had to buy them instantly. Otherwise it was going to sell out. You weren't going to get them. It kind of like after COVID, up into COVID, it got crazy. And then COVID happened. And then when it came back to after that, it was almost like a ghost town, you know, and slowly since COVID, I think it's getting more and more back to the insanity of it where it was, because this year was a little bonkers.
Yeah, I will say that I'm not sure exactly when they finally sold out of all of their tickets, but I'm on their mailing list because I've gone with you a couple of times. I did not go this year. They were sending emails, it felt like every day, trying to hound me and talk me into buying tickets for this thing. So yeah, well after the on sale date, they were still working hard to get people to buy.
Yeah, which again, in years past, like pre-COVID, that would never be a thing, right? It would sell out instantly. But this year, I think maybe Saturday and Friday probably sold out the quickest. Sunday, to my surprise, sold out because I was going to try to get extra tickets for Sunday, but they were not available. I don't know that if Thursday ever did sell out. They might have still had tickets for Thursday, but
which I believe is the day I've always got. I think I've only ever gone on Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursdays is kind of the me day, you know, where like Sunday is known as family day, so I'll bring the family, and if I go other days, it's just bonus. But Thursday is like, it's a chill day. It's again pros and cons because there's not a lot of, you might miss some panels and things like that. Pros and cons, yeah. But I wanted to ask you about, like, because I wasn't planning on going this year, and then kind of I think FOMO started to get to me, and I bought tickets and broke down. But you've kind of like the past couple of years, you've been not so much up for it anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when the tickets are ready to go on sale, I'm like, oh, cool, Comic-Con, we should go do that. And every time I've gone, I leave going, man, I do not have fun at this thing at all. You know, my back's always bothering me at the end of it. I'm always tired. There's just so many people. And I feel like all I do is complain about how 3/4 of the vendors are just selling like bootleg tapestries. And like there's barely any vintage toys there at all. And I've realized that it's just not for me. And the last time that we went, which was 2 years ago in 2023, when I got home, I remember telling my wife, I'm like, I'm done. That's it for me. Because that was the one where like I actually had to go sit down for a while you went and did it. I think you went through Artist's Alley without me because I couldn't do it anymore. I'm too old to begin the training, and it's really just one of those things where just I can't say anything other than I don't enjoy it.
Okay. And I
did.
Yeah. But that's super easy to understand because I could see how this would not be an enjoyable thing. Because again, it's tons of people, like you said, the bootleg and the crap stuff. Now it's all like more like AI tapestries and crap is there. But I don't know. Despite all that, I managed to have a really good time this year. So I wanted to kind of recap that with you. And then at the end, see if it changes your mind looking to 2026.
Probably not. I mean, because you always have a much better time than I do at this. Yeah, we usually run into people. You're more of a talker as far as like running into people randomly. I like to plan my conversations out. So I'm kind of just like, you know, when I'm there, it's very much like the I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel. Like I'm not really there to socialize. It's like I want to walk around. I want to look at the stuff. I probably want to buy a handful of very specific things, and then I want to get on with my day.
Yeah. Well, let's get on with the day and let's talk about it. And then again, I wanted to see if your thoughts on this stuff.
All right. So do you want to start pulling up some slides already, or
let's put up some slides with the intent to really just have some content for us to chat about. But yeah, I mean, it's madness there. If you haven't been before, the Javits Center is this incredibly enormous venue, and it is just jam packed with people, with vendors. It's a big deal. So this was the first time. So I went on Thursday, and I got there a little earlier than I intended. I got there before the doors opened. Normally, I like to just kind of like casually roll in, because I don't think in all the years that we've gone, there hasn't been like a major exclusive that we needed to be first in line for. And this year there wasn't really much that I was hunting at all. But I accidentally got there earlier than I anticipated. So I had to wait online outside to get in. And it was like, just like the shuffling, like the herding of the people from basically where I was standing all the way to the other end. They opened one door to let everybody in, which was at the opposite end of the Javits Center from where I wanted to go. Because the first thing I wanted to get to was the Hasbro panel. Because for the first time in forever, Hasbro was actually having a panel at New York Comic Con. So that was super, super cool. So
I think you should also you should be able to click through the slides, because I think it might be easier.
How do I click? I don't. Oh, look at that. I can click through the slides. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go right through these. So again, I got there. I think the doors opened maybe 10 o'clock. And then I made my way over to where the panels are. And believe it or not, in whatever the 15 something years I've been going, this was the first time I ever actually went to a panel at Comic-Con. And I feel like that's kind of like an amateur mistake of mine, because I think the panels would have helped us in all those years to sit down and take a break. But I just don't know that there was anything that I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. So I've
always looked at the panels because that's such a big deal at San Diego Comic-Con. But every year that we went, there was never anything on the day that we went. Sometimes there was a panel. It's like, oh, you know what? If I was going Saturday, I'd want to go see that. But I'm not going there on Saturday.
Yeah. Which again, I think that is the downside of Thursday, is most of the panels are probably going to be, Friday, Saturday, and maybe even Sunday. But this was cool. This was a great way to kick off Comic-Con. I was right in the front of the line because I was there pretty early. Met up with some friends, and then it was just cool to actually sit and go through the Hasbro panel where they
and this Hasbro panel, this was focused on Star Wars, Tron, and it was all the Disney stuff and Marvel, right? It was
Marvel, Star Wars, and then they went into Tron. Yeah. But it was fun. I mean, there was again, I know, and we could talk about what they unveiled and all that.
Yeah.
But when you're in the room, it's what I imagine going to a sports game is like. Is that it sounded stupid even when I said that, a sports game? I don't even know, like a sporting event, whatever they call those things, where when the crowd is into it, that enthusiasm and that energy is really cool.
Oh, like going to see wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine that's exactly what it was like. So yeah, this was their Star Wars and their Marvel panel. There wasn't anything that jumped out at me, but I wanted to ask you about this, because were you getting any of the retro original trilogy figures? Are these guys on your radar at all?
Yeah, we did the whole the side-by-side comparison of the official ones versus the bootleg ones that I have. I'm not rebuying any of the original figures. I have Admiral Akbar. I don't need a new redone Admiral Akbar. Mm-hmm. But anytime that they're putting out a new character, I'm picking them up. Although, again, I haven't kept all of them because some of the bootleg people have done better jobs than Hasbro. But yeah, no, these are very much on my radar.
Cool, because then I wanted to ask you about this dude, because that was cool to see.
Yeah, except it looks like crap.
Yeah, I don't know why I could see through his crotch. That's that is very retro, I guess, in the leg design.
Yeah, because Stan Solo made a version of Garandin. I don't know. I remember his name.
Whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, but Stan Solo made one, and it's excellent. It's an excellent looking figure. Mm-hmm. And this one does not look good. I don't understand the hood thing. That looks weird to me, especially because it seems like he's wearing a hood under his hood. Mm-hmm. So I like that they're doing this figure. I want to see them do more figures like this, but this one does not look very good to me.
Okay. But it was one thing that jumped out at me, and I was like, oh, Tim, I wonder if he'd be interested in this.
Very much in my wheelhouse, and I'm also wondering just if it's intentionally looking kind of crummy. Like, it's obviously not a very crisp render. They've kind of, it looks like they've made it a little fuzzy on purpose. So I'm wondering if when they actually get to revealing it properly, it'll look better than this picture does.
Let's
But
hope
his
so.
nose looks
Like
very
too perfect, right? Like,
yeah, it looks robotic to me.
yeah. I actually have a custom head for this guy, like for a Black Series figure that looks great, but I should do something with it at some point. But I digress. This is one of the things that popped out at me that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then this is another one that I wanted to talk to you about. Did you catch, again, it's Boba Fett, but now Black Series is introducing the toe articulation. I don't know. And I wanted to talk to you because I know posing figures and shooting photos of them, things like toe articulation helps a lot. But for you, for displaying them, does that mean a thing at all?
Yeah, I have never had a foot fetish, so it's not the sort of thing that is right up my alley. All I can see when I see this is, oh, cool, you did this figure already, except now he has yellow knee pads and his toes move.
Yeah.
This is also one of the worst Boba Fett's that there is, aside from the version that didn't have any helmet at all, which I still bought, but now I don't have anymore. We'll talk about that some other week.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all of for me, again, Black Series, like just miss, like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I do not understand what they're doing. I do not understand who the audience is for the figures they're deciding to release. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Did you get the email from Big Bag Toy Store with like their daily sales? Because they have the old version of this guy now for like $9. Because I guess they're like,
it's the same. It's so similar.
Yep. So what they were saying about this figure there is the toe articulation, and I guess the knee pads or whatever those, they can move around. So if you need to reposition them, yeah,
gotta keep his knees safe.
This was the only one that out of the Star Wars stuff, the Black Series, that I was like, somewhat amused by. Kyle Katarn from the going way back into the old video games. But it's, again, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to be negative or anything, but it wasn't like super thrilling. And obviously, like, playing those games, you were playing in like first person, so you never really saw the character. So.
What game is this from?
Dark Forces, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going way back when. They were great games at the time, but yeah. I know. Yeah. I thought it was neat. And I like the photos that they were using for these. And it was cool because they kept shouting out to their staff photographer who puts all these together. Shooting the Galaxy, I think is his name on Instagram.
But I want to understand the Hasbro analytics, the things that they use for character selection. And I want to know, in what universe does whoever this character is sells more than a Gonk droid would?
Yeah.
Like there's no way. I do not understand what they're doing.
Yeah, I wish I could answer that. I think there'll be a dozen or so folks that are amused by this guy. Whether or not they'll pick him up, I couldn't say. But
all 12 of them, I can almost guarantee you would rather have a Gonk.
I know I would if you asked me. But so let's we'll take a quick jaunt over to the Hasbro booth.
Want a fun fact before you go on?
I do.
The fellow in the purple, the closest one,
this guy,
and the guy next to him with not the denim shirt guy, but the other guy in purple. Those are the two G.I. Joe leads.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, that's Lenny and Tony, and they do most of the G.I. Joe stuff.
Yeah, I will say, it was super cool because even at the panel and at the booth, the entire Hasbro staff was just out there, like super accessible. Super open. Like, I know we're going to talk about Tron in a second, but Chris Reef, I think is his name. I don't know how to say his last name. He's the guy with his back to the camera right here. We talked with him for a while about the Tron HasLab and the Tron figures, but it was just like they were not hiding behind a table. They were just out there chatting up the hordes and hordes of people. So that was really cool to see. And with that said, let's talk about it, shall we?
Please.
Please. So yeah, this is Hasbro's. They had a name for it, right? It's a HasLab, but it's like their 3.75, whatever they're calling this thing. Are you bringing that out, the snake armor, to fight it?
I want to just call out that the company that we're talking about is the same company that managed to make this.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Hey, I thought these looked really good. The nostalgia was there when they were showing it off in the panel. Like, everybody was like oohing and eyeing as they were going through. They were showing how the figures actually fit inside the light cycles. They were showing the light up base. And then, unfortunately, I think the enthusiasm kind of took a dip as they started to talk about the HasLab and as they started to talk about the price, which was really unfortunate because you could see they put a lot of hard work into putting this set together. And I know Mr. Steve on Instagram was talking about, like, kind of the feedback of, why didn't you release this as a line versus kind of doing it all as a HasLab? And you can go read his response. He was just basically saying it's kind of like, they're looking at opportunities to do a single fandom, like all in one shot, which again is cool, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on this HasLab Tron set here?
So if these were 6-inch figures, I'd consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Even at that price, I'm not positive I'd consider it, but I would consider it. I don't think you need the base. I don't think that's a necessary thing. To me, that just makes it harder to fit it into a shelf, because now they're telling me how to display it instead of me figuring out how to display it. So I don't love that. Mm-hmm. But like, at this scale, this doesn't. Who is making these decisions? I don't get it. These are the same scale and mostly what it looks like, the same articulation as the vintage collection figures. They look pretty much that same thing.
Yep.
So vintage collection figures, I went onto the Hasbro Pulse website. Vintage collection figures are $18.
Okay. Is that the new price now? Because then the price just go up, right?
I don't actually know because I don't collect that line. But like, when they announce these, I'm like, how much are this scales figure?
Okay.
They're $18.
Okay.
So there's 5 figures here. So if you do the math, that's under $100.
Mm-hmm.
How much could that light cycle possibly be?
Well,
because again, this thing was $75.
Wow.
And those things are probably the size of one of his legs.
Yeah. But I got to think, if they were to sell these light cycles on their own, they would at least be
$35-45.
I would, I would want to say like 40, but I feel like they would at least be 45, right?
If it comes with the little the chemtrails, then probably 45.
Yeah. So you have about $100 worth of figures with 2 light cycles. Now you've got another 90. So you're up to 190, and then the rest is all just base.
Yeah, I mean, all their base does not need to belong to me. I don't. There's no reason to me that this couldn't have just been a line of figures that you pick and choose from. Because again, I don't necessarily need the random red program guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about that one. I don't need that. Yeah, I don't understand why this is a HasLab. Because to me, there's no reason they can't just make these figures and just get rid of the base.
Yeah.
And I am definitely not alone in that, because if you go onto HasLab right now,
it was under 1,000 last I looked.
It is still under 1,000. It is at 963 backers. It has been that way since about day 2.
Yeah, and again, I think the reaction that they got at the panel was foreshadowed how that was probably going to go, because there was like a lot of enthusiasm again while they were showing it. They had a lot of cool graphics on the screen, and then it came to like HasLab, the price, and like everyone was kind of like, wait, what? So
I also think it's kind of nuts because they are trying to get 10,000 people to back this, which is not a small amount of people at all. It's more than the base level for, I think, most of the other HasLabs that they've done. There's no stretch goals or anything like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It's basically like you're just buying this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't understand why they're trying to do it like this. Like, do they really not think they could have sold 10,000 of these figures? Like if they put them out in stores?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the light cycles would have sold. If I couldn't get a 6-inch Sark, I might have gone for this one. Like, I think there's one out there because maybe Diamond Select had done some 6-inch scale Tron figures,
But yeah, and again, the scale thing, I don't get it. Like if you want to do a HasLab and you want to do an all-in-one thing, and these are all 6-inch scale with 2 6-inch scale light cycles, like to me, that's like, all right, that's HasLab worthy because those light cycles are going to be pretty decent size. You're going to have 5 figures at, let's just be generous and say $25 a piece.
Okay.
So that's already $125 right there. Like to me, that would make a lot more sense, but
125, you're probably talking 75 now for like a light cycle that big to fit a 6-inch figure. So another 150. So that's, 275.
Get rid of the base. Again, to me, the base just limits what you can do with this.
The base is a really odd thing, right? Because it lights up. It looks great. It'll probably look great on your shelf if you do get these and display them. But it really is like in the land of kind of like just not necessary, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like the cranky guy. I'm really not, but like I'm just so baffled by most of what Hasbro has done at New York Comic Con until we get to the Joes, and then we'll talk about that. Because the thing that I just keep not being able to understand is how is this the same company who is just knocking it out of the park with everything they touch on G.I. Joe? And to me, just seems like they stumble at everything else. To be fair, though, I don't know if they're doing well with Marvel or not to the Marvel fan, because I'm not the Marvel fan. I'm not the audience for that. So.
Yeah, I didn't take a lot of pictures of the Marvel stuff. There were lots of cheers. People were very excited. Again, I don't know Marvel, the deep Marvel. So they would bring characters on screen and people were like losing their minds. And I'm like, I don't know who this Penguin Wolfman is. I'm sorry. So
yeah. So they might be doing a great job with that. I can't judge that one because I don't know enough about it.
Yep. Yeah. Again, my last thing on this, if I could buy one light cycle and maybe a figure or two, I would probably dip into this scale. But for $260 or whatever it was, yeah, this is a no-go for me. And I'm assuming plus shipping. And I'm assuming a no-go for you as well. So
again, the scale pretty much kills it for me, but like the audacity that this has to be a HasLab and they can't just make the stupid figures. I don't want to support that.
Okay. Well, what about these figures from Tron Legacy?
I don't like that movie. So they look good. If they were doing the original movie in this scale, I think that would look pretty cool. I don't know why they're doing them in 2 different scales. That's the other thing that strikes me as being odd. If they were all 3 3/4, I'd be like, okay, well, that's just the scale they're doing. Yeah. But to do one movie in that scale and another movie in a different scale, I don't get it.
I wonder if there's a reason, right? I wonder if does someone hold the original 6-inch license or something? But
the only thing I could think of is maybe it's just because these light cycles are much smaller.
Possibly. And I'm going to tell you, like, if this was purely the movie, I just bought this movie to watch again because I haven't seen it in a long time. But if it was purely movie based, these are easily a no-go for me right now. But the fact of Disney has the Tron light cycle roller coaster, and it's like these light cycles. That's one thing that's kind of bringing me in, but they don't light up. That was one of the questions that Dan NJ Tree was with at the booth. He was asking, like, do the light cycles light up? And they said no. That would have been awesome if you can light them up blue or light them up red, but unfortunately, no, they do not light up.
They're unlit cycles.
Unlit cycles. They are light cycles that don't light.
So what was the person that you spoke with? Like, what did they have to say about like what seems to be just like crushingly negative feedback on the HasLab thing?
I don't know that they were feeling it just yet, because this was like they just announced it maybe like an hour ago, right? So they were super psyched, and this dude like was sincere. You could tell that he they put their heart and soul into making the figures and designing the light cycles so the figures can actually fit, and trying to build it as best they can do. And I felt that sincerity and the kind of excitement they had for the line. We were talking about how, and I don't remember her name. What was her name? Not Yuri. This character right here. They were saying how they made her where her helmet can come off because she takes it off in the movie. And I'm like, when on earth does she take her helmet off in the movie? So then he's like, was pulling up screenshots on the phone to show it. So again, they were super, super excited about it. I'm sure they're probably feeling it a little bit right now based on the reaction and what they're seeing, but I don't know. Again, I didn't want to rain on anybody's parade there. I don't want to be negative. So I just saying, hey, they look awesome.
Yeah, and I want to second that. Is like, I do not want to be grumpy about Tron action figures. I love Tron. I would love to have some cool action figures, but just the decisions that are being made I just find them baffling.
Yeah, totally understand. Shall we move on? Anything else?
We got a lot to go through.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, okay. So you kept this one in here. I took some pictures of Tron G.I. Joe stuff. I don't know what was what. I just knew that I was trying to get this for a friend of ours.
This is Pythona.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is Pythona. Yes, I should have known that because I went and looked for her every day I was there. She was sold out by the time I got to the booth, which was, again, I guess you had to make a choice. You either went to the Hasbro booth or you went to the Hasbro panel, because if you went to the panel, you were not getting Pythona. She was sold out for the day. I guess they probably allotted so many per day. But to my surprise, when I went there, she was gone. She was the only thing that I saw sell out for Hasbro's booth on any day. So.
Yeah. Well, I know you were trying to get one for our buddy, Mr. Dad. The other thing about this figure is, even though it is a New York Comic-Con exclusive, or fall convention exclusive, they're calling it, because they're doing one in London. They're going to be able to sell it there, but it's also available on Pulse if you're a premium member. So I became a premium member when I backed the Snowcat, because it was either that or pay for shipping, and I might as well just get something out of it as opposed to just giving money for shipping. So I was able to pick one of these up for Mr. Dad, and hopefully it'll ship to him relatively soon. I did it so it ships right from Hasbro to him, so I'm not even touching it.
You're drop shipping. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that worked out well. I felt really bad because it was the mission, right? You know the mission.
Oh, of course, you gotta have.
I failed the mission.
You need the shopping agenda.
I failed on my shopping agenda.
So that was like the San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sorry, the New York Comic-Con exclusive. And then the rest of the G.I. Joe reveals, we can move on to those. The rest of the G.I. Joe reveals, they happened on Friday when you weren't there. So the pictures on the next couple slides, these are from Toy Habit. So I grabbed those from them. So these weren't reveals so much as they had done render reveals leading up to New York Comic-Con. But these are the figures, the next wave of figures that also went on pre-order. So we have Lifeline and the Night Viper. Now, I was always planning to get Lifeline because he's an 86 figure. I had that one when I was a kid. Very much into that. And then I just thought that the Night Viper looked really, really cool. Like, they did a really good version of him. I think he's an 88 figure, so it's not something that really would be on my radar. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pre-order him as well. And then the other three figures of the wave, we have Hit and Run, who was an 88 figure, which wasn't one that I was interested in. We had Big Lob, who never had a figure in the vintage days, but he was in G.I. Joe, the movie. And then we have what they're calling Stage 2 Mole Rat. I'm not sure what's going on there. So I think Hit and Run looks awesome. Like, he's just a really cool army looking figure with the camouflage paint on his face. So I was like, man, this just looks good with a lot of the early Joe figures that are just kind of straight up military folks. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get him too. And then I'm looking here at Big Lob, and I'm like, I don't know who this character is, but they've done such a good job with this figure. I think it looks so cool with the basketball, with the jersey, with the bandolier. And then I actually decided to watch G.I. Joe, the movie, for the first time. And while I still don't like most of it because it's very heavy on Pythona and Cobra La, which is not my scene.
Cobra La.
But Big Lob is in that movie, and Big Lob is awesome in that movie. He's probably the best part of that movie.
So now you're in?
I'm in. So I actually ended up pre-ordering 4 figures from this wave. I did not buy, Big Rock Candy Mole Man head.
The Last of Us looking kind of dude there. At the
yeah,
end.
I don't know who this is. I don't know what's wrong with his face.
What's wrong with your face?
Yeah. So I skipped him, but I actually ended up pre-ordering the other 3.
Awesome.
So the other thing that they unveiled was the Arctic Hiss, which is again like this scale. It's bigger than this.
Mm-hmm.
The first Hiss they did was a HasLab. So that was 3 years ago. So now they're doing the Arctic version of it. So there are more snow-based things happening for when the Snowcat shows up next year.
Okay.
I think this looks really cool. Didn't have one when I was a kid. Don't really need one. But I'm glad for the people that really need terrain-specific vehicles that there will be another option for them.
Yeah, you can't have your regular Hiss out in the snow. That's just like, what do you think?
But I think they did a really cool thing with that. I think this looks good. It's a really nice vehicle, even though it's not for me. It's cool. The figures that they showed off, they were great. And then they did a couple of reveals. They did a render reveal of the Cobra La Royal Guard.
One day you'll have to sit me down and tell me all about Cobra La, because it just sounds absurd.
I don't, not for me. I don't need it. It's from the movie. It's from the later series. Not for me. And then the other reveals they're doing, I believe they're going to be retro figures, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a female Crimson Guard, Crazy Legs on the top, and then Zap down at the bottom, who's one of the OG 13.
He looks like
I will definitely be getting Zap. I'm depending on how Crazy Legs looks, I might get him. Because again, I like this picture of him, even though he's later in the series. So I didn't have him when I was a kid.
And you can't even see how crazy his legs are in that photo.
Yeah, but I'm really psyched that we're getting Zap because I really want them to finish those first 13.
Cool.
So that's kind of what happened in G.I. Joe Land. And again, for me, I feel like there's just something for everyone here. Every bit of the G.I. Joe fandom, I feel like they service with every single wave. And I really like that. And I don't understand why they can't do that in some of their other lines.
So they didn't even... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I was gonna say they didn't even show pipeline reveals for Star Wars. If they did, they weren't anything that I noted down.
More troopers, more Mandalorians, more troopers, more Mandalorians. Hey, have some more troopers. Do you want a trooper? This one has toes.
This one comes with a Mandalorian.
Yeah. So and then we're back to your stuff. Is you took a picture of Sarge.
The only reason I had Sergeant Slaughter in there because there was in their Hasbro display they had a Sergeant Slaughter figure, on display. And then I don't know, he just looked super grumpy. He never looked up from his phone because I was waiting on a line at another booth right across from him. He I don't know. I didn't even see him interact with anyone or speak to anybody. So it was just it was something.
You need a token to do that. You got to get a token first, and then he'll look at you.
He needed to be powered up.
Yeah, but, you have to cross his palm with silver.
Again, this is all I saw of him, and maybe I was just there at a bad moment, but he did not look like he wanted to be there at all. But moving on.
Moving on.
All right. So let's see. So yeah, let's talk about regret for a little bit, shall we? This looked.
Okay. I thought you meant just in general.
Okay, no.
That's a whole other episode.
I don't know what my final what it was that kind of backed me away from this HasLab, the Ecto-1 HasLab. But damn, did this thing look good? And maybe it was just the space because, as you can see, this thing is enormous.
It's long.
But it looked so good, but even more so, these exclusive figures just look great. And it made me realize that how we have the Plasma series, but we have no Ghosts. in that series. We have the one Build-A-Figure Terror Dog, the one that came with like Lewis's Bad Day or whatever that exclusive set was. But I mean, the Librarian Ghost and Slimer are exclusive to the Ecto-1, which just feels so like such a kick in the butt to me that I want to kind of like just dump all of my Ghostbuster figures, because I was kind of like really bummed about that because they look great.
Yeah, no, they look good. I got rid, like I had all four of like the four guys in the Pulse figures, and it just sort of got to the point where I'm like, I'm never going to put these anywhere. I don't really have a place for them. I don't really want to make a place for them, so I ended up getting rid of them.
Yeah, and again, that's how unfortunately I feel too, because like I don't know what it is. Like, hey, I hear things that I could never get. Like, why do I want to bother with this line?
I don't think this figure's as cool as the other one is, though.
Yeah, but it just bothers me that like it's out there. You know, I didn't even notice too the Ghostbusters in the back. Those are new ones. Those, like, yeah, they're not. They're I think they're the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man Roof Battle version figures. I didn't even look closely at them when I was there because I was so like enamored by the Ecto-1 and then angry when I saw how great this Slimer looks. So
the Librarian looks pretty good too.
Yeah, I have a Librarian. I don't know what she's from. Like I found a used one somewhere, but yeah, these look great. And just what a bummer. Like, how do you put Slimer in the Ecto-1 and not just release him on his own? But
I don't know.
Yeah, but again, I if I can go back, I may reconsider backing that. But unfortunately, I can't. So if I can buy one for $800 if I want off of eBay, but I think I'm gonna pass on that. All right, let's see what else we got. We saw that one. Oh yeah, here's a little bit more regret. And again, I know, like I swore off the vintage collection, you know, this scale, but man, that Panther looks so great. And I went online to try to find one, and they're just I could not find. After I only looked a little bit, but the price is all jacked up for people reselling it. So this is something I'm just gonna have to admire from a distance. But it looks so woolly and cute. Yeah. And then here we're in their display were the new figures. We got Kyle Katarn, which again looks just kind of like Guy in Star Wars, man. Like nothing really super exciting going on.
Does he work at the Star Wars DMV?
Yeah, he looks just like regular dude. It's a bummer. And then there's the Boba Fett with the toe articulation. So hooray.
Oh, look at those toes.
Again, those are good toes. I mean, I've seen toes, but those are good ones. Sorry, any other comments before we continue?
I think I've whined enough about Hasbro.
Okay. So let's talk about NECA. I guess going from the Hasbro panel over to the booth, by the time I got over to NECA, they had somehow announced this guy, which is the ultimate disguise Bob Beetlejuice. So this was a brand new unveiling for Comic-Con. Super awesome. Again, I'm not crazy about Beetlejuice as a movie, but all of the scenes with Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice and his whole office workers and Bob, like just give me that as a short and I'm super happy. So this is a definite pickup for me because he looks awesome, you know, with the rest of the office workers there. Comes with a little like I guess dead Bob spoiler on the ground. Dead decoy okay. Bob. Yeah, but that was really neat to see from NECA. And then also they have their sandworm, which just looks phenomenal. Like
you ordered one of these though, already,
right? I did. It looks so good. It comes with a figure, I think another exclusive Beetlejuice from Beetlejuice, like the I don't know what he is, but I'm all in just for this because it looks great. I might have to get two of these. It looks so good.
Use as bookends?
Yes, horsehead bookends, definitely. Again, Sesame Street stuff is looking awesome. And I could have used it on our Invention Exchange today, but I finally got Bert and Ernie. Like Best Buy had them on sale. So I picked them up. But I mean, Oscar, I think, looks tremendous. Big Bird looks great. So do I have any more of those guys? No. So they had these on display last year. So I guess they're just taking a while to cook. It's Q2 2026, but
yeah, no, they look good. They look good. I'm again, I don't think I need Sesame Street figures. I was always more of a Muppets guy than a Sesame Street guy. Let me rephrase that: a Muppet Show guy than a Sesame Street guy. But they look great. You can't take that away from them. They look great.
Yeah, his can looks great. So, and I think they engineer him so he actually can come out of that. But I don't know what he looks like when he comes out of his can. I don't quite remember that.
I think it's just an arm. There's just I think it's
it is. That's it. He's just like a slug. He's like Jabba, right? Just like the slug that comes out. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, talk about pickups. So this was one thing I thought about using for my invention exchange today, but alas, I will not. NECA was doing this cool thing at their booth where every hour they were just opening up like sales for figures from their vault. So they must have found a lot of stuff in their warehouse and they were bringing it to the show. And this is Simon Belmont from Castlevania. So I was at the booth and I'm like, I don't know. Do I need Simon? Do I pick him up? And people were just grabbing them. Like I was watching them go off the counter. So I finally stepped in line and I actually got the last one that they had. So that was neat. Like, again, it's the old video game stuff speaks to me, though. I feel like this is from, I don't know what this is from. I don't know if this is from like the animated series or not, but I think it looks great. And I'm excited to bust them out.
How old is the figure?
2008.
Oh, okay. So it's well vaulted.
Yes. So that was cool. There was nothing else out of the vault that spoke to me. So I was glad that I was there at the right time to grab this one from their booth.
Cool. Hey!
And this was the second mission I was on for Comic-Con, was to score a Jawa ornament for you. And the Hallmark booth was right next to the NECA booth. I went over there and they denied me. They said, "Oh, do you have your I guess they handed out tickets, and if you didn't get
you needed your fast pass."
Yeah, you needed a fast pass for this, and since I didn't have a fast pass, they told me I had to come back at 1:00, and sure enough, I did, and then I was able to get in line, and I wanted to get 2 of these, so I didn't know how that was going to go down, but thankfully they allowed everyone to buy 2 of all the exclusive each, and I just heard the people behind me okay, we're going to buy 2 of everything. And they're on eBay looking they were already getting prepped to flip things. When I got to the front and I told the guy 2 Jawas, he looked at me like I was nuts. That I just wanted 2 Jawas. I don't know that they were selling very well. Mm-hmm. Maybe just the flippers, but like the Luke ornament, which was not exclusive, that was already sold out by the time I got back, that I got up to the front. But no, the Jawas were there. I don't think they sold out at all, but I'm still psyched to have one. I know you're happy to have one too for your tree this year.
Yeah. These are, I was buying Transformers ornaments for my tree, but then they stopped doing them. So I had to find like a new yearly ornament to pick up. And last year they started doing these ones that, look like the original card backs, and they did Darth Vader as retail and they did the Tusken Raider as the convention exclusive. Mm-hmm. So this year they're doing the first Luke Skywalker at retail, and then the Jawa is the convention exclusive. So thank you for getting that for me, because I have the Luke one pre-ordered. So I'll have all 4, and I hope they keep this one going, because I think I mentioned to you, there's nothing more festive than putting a predominantly black square on your Christmas tree.
Exactly. It's what Santa would have wanted. But yeah, I think these are really cool. I was glad to grab one. This was kind of like the one thing that I knew ahead of time that I was hoping to get. So it was nice to bring it home.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, let's move on. Then there's the Tamashii Nations booth. I didn't see anything new here this year, and nothing really jumped out at me. They were showing off the Super Mario Brothers figures. So a lot of these are re-releases. I think Bowser might be new. I don't remember him originally when they did these. I mean, they look good, but they're basically the same figures that they've always had all this time.
Who's that?
These are One Piece. This is Chopper from One Piece. And I like the display. I thought they really did a good job putting it all together. But yeah, I didn't see anything new this year from them. So that was a little disappointing, because I was looking forward to going over there. Our dear friends at the Loyal Subjects here. Yeah. Their mass toys, again, looking fantastic, right? Like every bit the part that they needed to do with these re-releases.
Yeah. And I canceled my pre-order for the Rhino. I think I told you that.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like this would take up a lot of shelf space. And now you have all those G.I. Joe vehicles to deal with. So, yep, there he comes. Looks like, yeah, just give him a good hug. I would be hugging that too. Again, they look great. They look exactly like the originals, obviously with some updated masks and whatnot. But yeah, I'm able to resist. I think I told you, because none of my favorite vehicles were in this wave.
Right.
So, and I don't know, just cool. Well, let's keep moving on here. They do look great.
I think my brother had the Thunderhawk. I had the Rhino. My brother had the Thunderhawk. So those are the two that I have real nostalgia for.
Yeah, I don't think I had the Thunderhawk. I had the Rhino. I had the Chopper or the Condor, and then I had the Trans Am. I had a bunch of other vehicles that were from waves 2 and 3. So we'll see if they ever get to those. But I don't know that I would dive into these. Yeah, but I mean, looking good.
Yeah, I mean, the certainly the head sculpts of the figures look a little bit better than the original ones, but
yeah,
but I think the masks look worse somehow.
Oh, you know what? I have had this dude's just lives on my desk. Look at that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Put your mask back on. No one wants to see that face. You go back over there. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Hiya Toys was there, much to their surprise. I don't think they were prepared for Comic-Con, because I was super psyched when I saw their booth, because I knew they were doing Persona 5 figures. So I went over to like, hey, you guys are doing Persona 5 figures. And they were like,
but wait, we are?
Yeah, basically they were not. Like, you would have thought that if a small toy brand and, you know, a fan came up and was excited about something, they'd want to engage or talk, but they were like not having it there. But it was cool to see. I know some of these are up for pre-order already. I'm still debating if I'm going to, because I would like to complete the line of the main characters. And there's options. There's, I think, Figma has done them. McFarlane, I think, is doing them. And Hiya is doing them. So I have to decide like where I'm going to throw my money in. And I already have one of the Figma figures. So
that might be the line that you decide to collect.
But the problem is a lot of them are discontinued already. So they would be very, very pricey. It might be cheaper to just go and all in on these.
Right.
But then again, I don't know that I actually need them in the end. But one cool surprise that I did not know was a thing were these guys, the Contra dudes.
Yeah.
So I guess they made them. And not only did they made them, I think they went all in on the accessories and stuff for these guys.
The power-ups are the best part of this.
Yes.
Like by far, those things are the best. Although I feel like they need like a stand or something. It seems odd to just have them lying on the ground.
Yeah, or they have to float by somehow or just fly around. But this was really amusing. They're not from the original Contra game that we know and love. They're from that, whatever, the Operation Galuga or something that is a more recent release. But
where you rescue the Dalai Lama?
Yeah, exactly. It was cool to see, though. This was a nice surprise. But these are figures I will definitely admire from afar.
Yeah. And
they also had a Mega Man X prototype. Not my Mega Man. I'm classic Mega Man or Mega Man Battle Network. But still, you know, I'll be curious to see if they take on any of those Mega Mens that I do like. So.
Yeah. Well, there's some other companies doing like a ton, like where you got your little dirt helmet guys.
Oh yes, so Jada Toys, yeah, they're doing a ton. They were not there. I have some pictures of some of their stuff coming up, but yeah, they weren't there this year, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But Mondo with their Real Ghostbusters line, Janine has joined the team with her desk.
Yeah, I gotta say these figures look really good. But I was over at your house recently, and you showed me the Venkman figure. And I could not believe how small it was. Like, I thought these were larger scale, like super detailed figures. They're about the same size as the original Kenner figures are. They're really not much bigger. So I was shocked they were as small as they are for how much money they are. Now, don't get me wrong. They're beautiful figures. They're obviously very well done. I just can't believe how small they are.
Yeah, and especially for the price too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I bought Peter. He was on my list to cancel, to be honest, and I didn't cancel in time. But like, I would love to get all 4 of the Ghostbusters, but not at the prices that they're asking. Like, Ray looks great, Egon looks good, like they all look good, but and even the shot of them all together looks great. But I think I'm gonna have to be a one and done on these.
Yeah, I think Egon probably looks the best. The hair is just like so good on that guy.
Yeah, so that was, but seeing them all together is just like, it's so nice. Yeah, and her desk, I guess. Okay, so yeah, you mentioned the Mega Man guys, and those are from Jada, I think. They were not there this year, which was a bummer. But they did have in the Pop Insider booth, they were showing off some of their Wave 1 Invincible figures. And now that Diamond Select is gone, I got to figure out what I'm going to do about Invincible. Because I have all of the, actually, I don't have all. I did not get there was one like last Diamond Select figure that came out that I did not purchase. But now I want to see how this wave evolves to see if I'll go in and kind of pick any of these up. But right now I'm gonna stay on the fence for this one a bit longer.
Okay. Well,
yep. They also had their Scooby-Doo. I guess these are Wave 3.
Yeah, these are also figures that I think they look great, but I just don't like Scooby-Doo enough to buy these kind of figures. Like, of all of the Hanna-Barbera characters, like Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones are the ones that I'm the least interested in.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because again, I like Shaggy. I like the Mummy, and they were whatever they had in Wave 1. I thought looked great, but I don't know if I'm going to go in on this. But they are doing Fred and Barney that are like an absolute pickup for me, but only because they're Cocoa Pebbles and Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, but like if they started doing like Heckle and Jekyll and like Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy and like some of like the Snagglepuss and like those are the Hanna-Barbera characters that I really like. I like the more the Yogi affiliate ones, like the wacky races, the Laugh Olympics. And yes, to me, Scooby-Doo and Flintstones, those were always just like the most obvious and least interesting of those.
Got it. Yeah, I liked all of them. Again, I don't think I'm gonna, if anything, I would like to get just Shaggy and Scooby and probably call it then there. But I don't know. We'll see. But I was disappointed they weren't there because they're great bunch of guys, great company, and they were there last year. So it was sad to see these toy guys not being able to visit them again this year. That was all I saw as far as toys and figures, at least that I noted. But it was also cool. They had demo stations for Once Upon a Katamari, which once upon a time, Comic-Con used to have a lot more video games.
Yeah, I remember one of the years we went, they had like a whole like maze set up for some game.
Yeah, they used to have lots of demo stations, and they tried to get you to pre-order right there on the spot. And I think if you pre-ordered, they'd give you like a T-shirt or something, like some kind of incentive. I don't know how if they proved that you kept the pre-orders now that I think about it, but maybe you had to pre-order directly through them. But yeah, the video games.
Send someone to your house to take the shirt if you
come back
out you canceled it.
Yeah. But this is the game I'm looking forward to, and it actually feels like finally like a new Katamari game. There was some really cool like power-ups you can get on it, and it felt fresh and new. So I was excited. And it was nice to take a break. They had really comfy carpet in their booth.
Yeah, good.
And yeah, I think I'm looking at my notes here. Let's see what other slides we got.
Yeah, you got.
Oh yeah, sorry. So still on day one. So again, not only was this the first day that I got there. Well, it wasn't the first day, but I got there before Comic-Con opened, and I actually stayed until after it closed because it closed out the night with the Alien Earth panel at the Empire stage.
Sponsored by Raising Cane's Chicken.
Yes,
if you want chicken, Raising Cane's Chicken is chicken.
Yeah. Have you ever been to one?
No, but they're building one. I drove by one that was under construction sort of recently.
Yeah, they're building one around here too. I've gone to one in Florida, and then I thought it was funny. I saw Raising Cane's all over the place, and I guess they're making a push. They're talking to their people here at Comic-Con. They figured Alien Earth was the way to kind of get their name out there. But this was an awesome panel. So I have to give a shout out to our friend Dan, NJ Tree, because he got me up into the VIP section to watch this. So we were right up close, and they did a screening of the first episode, which again, we've all seen it. So a little odd, but it was cool to watch it on a gigantic screen, like with great sound. Like it was a much more cinematic and movie-like experience. And I haven't watched the first episode since I guess, we started the series. So it was good to go back. And then the cast they were really funny. I wish that the panel part of it was a little longer. I could have done without the screening if I could have gotten more time with, more Q&A with them, but they were really gracious. They talked about a season 2, but they never committed to a season 2. Cause I kept waiting for someone to say like, oh, and we're happy to announce today that season 2 is a go, but they talked about things they could explore in season 2.
It would be a real bummer if it ended, considering that it ended on. You can't call it a cliffhanger, but they certainly did not end it with any sort of resolution.
No, it just stopped.
Yeah,
I need more of the eyeball monster. Like in my life, I need to know where that goes. Like I want to hear Boy Cavalier have a conversation with the eyeball monster. So, but this was a lot of fun. This was, it was neat to see. They were all super entertaining, super funny people, very, very gracious, that, they had so much support. And I think they all stuck around too, to like sign stuff for
cool.
people. Yeah. Which again, I always think is cool because they're signing it and they're not doing like a booth somewhere where you're paying $100 or something. But
it's a shame Aid wasn't there.
I know. I was disappointed he wasn't there, as well as Cobb Vanth. I was hoping he would come out, but still, like it was great to see the 4 of them. And then that was it. By the time this panel was over, the show floor was closed, and it was time to walk back to Port Authority to get on a bus and head home. So it was a busy day. And again, going back to the times that you and I've gone, I think having the panels would have really done a lot to kind of mix it up and give us a break. Just some cosplay picks. The Mandalorian Buzz Lightyear was great. Am I doing that or are you doing that?
I'm doing that. There.
Yeah, and then we had Beetlejuice, the cowboy Beetlejuice, which that was the first time I've ever seen that. I know we're going long on time, so
this was the last slide, though.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say is like this show. So again, I had a great time. On the downside, I felt like this year was super, super packed. But then when I started to think about it, like on Sunday, the weather was pretty bad. So normally there's people hanging out outside, sitting there eating. There was no room to sit inside. You talked about that one year where you went and sat. That was not possible because I was with Ollie, my son, on Sunday, and we looked around because he wanted to take a break. We could not find a single spot to sit down anywhere. People were sitting on the steps, and the staff was telling them, "Hey, you got to get off the steps. It's it's a fire hazard." So we walked around and we just gave up. Like, all right, I guess we're just not going to sit anywhere. I'd also say this year they mixed up the layout a lot. So where they used to have, we used to call it like, the dirt mall on the one side, and then the big booths on the other side. Now it's all just spread out. So you're walking through a mix, within one aisle. There could be like a used toy shop or booth, and then you go right into like Hasbro or something. So it was a little confusing because normally, like, I feel like it's always been like two mindsets. Like we focus on the Hasbro booths and then we switch gears and go over to like the dirt mall. And here you just kind of had to like deal with it. And then that was it. And then it was just, lines and a lot of shuffling around. But I don't know. I had a great time. I am definitely in for 2026. So we'll see if you maybe change your mind when it comes back around next year. No, you're good.
No, I won't. It's again, I don't have fun. Like the vendors that are not like the big company ones, it's not for me. There's really very few vintage toys there. And like the first couple times we went, like decade ago, I feel like there was a bunch of cool vintage toy stuff that was there. I remember seeing like, you know, a Jeeg Jumbo Machinder when we walked in the first time.
There was multiple aisles, yeah, of just
Yeah,
I think it was all just vintage toys.
The last couple times there's hardly any vintage toys. The crowds aren't my favorite thing in the world, but you know, whatever, you deal with them. That's not like a deal breaker for me. But again, like nowhere to sit down. The food situation is awful. Like that corridor of the food trucks selling hot dogs for $47 each. Like it's so abusive that like I can't really, I just don't enjoy it. I wish I did. And I wish it was a little bit different. I wish they kind of would keep out some of like the garbage vendors and make it a little bit more useful. And my understanding is that San Diego Comic-Con is not like that. Like it's a much higher caliber of place, probably because they charge a lot more to get in, I would imagine.
Oh, do they? I've never looked at those ticket prices.
One day to actually go as just like a person going in, then yeah, it's more expensive. But I imagine that if you want to be a vendor there, it's probably pretty hefty.
I would love to go one day just to contrast and compare.
Yeah, I would go to that. But I am very okay with being done with New York Comic Con. I will live vicariously through you. I will watch from afar with glee, and I will be very appreciative when you pick me up the one or two random exclusives that I might need.
Okay. Well, we'll see what they get next year.
I'm hoping the exclusive will be Hammerhead next year.
We'll see. I don't know.
Love a good Hammerhead ornament.
Cool. All right. Well, that was a good time. Well, thanks for indulging me as we talked through everything. And the crazy thing is, there was stuff I missed, and I don't know how that is every year. Like, despite trying to cover all that ground, there's always something.
Yeah, you missed Godzilla. He's typically quite large.
I missed Godzilla, and I went back, and when I was looking through my pictures, I could see the Godzilla booth. They had like a train set up. They had everything. So I think it was right by the NECA booth, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was a Bandai booth. But
I believe they made a gigantic like Coney Island diorama that they had Godzilla like stomping around.
The dude Isaiah, I forgot his last name. Black Series on Instagram is the one who made that. So he had it on his page and everything. And that's when I started to see. I'm like, wait, how did I not see that? And then I saw it was in the Godzilla booth. So huge bummer to miss that, but next time, I guess.
Next time. Speaking of next time, we won't be doing anything next week, but hopefully the week after we can put something together for. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm sure it'll be delightful, whatever it is.
Definitely. It'll be another happy Thursday, right? Everyone, happy Thursday, everyone.
Full circle. Hope everybody has a lovely weekend, and we'll see you when we see you.
Perfectly excellent.